Good morning, good morning. And we are back. And yes, once again, this is the same bottle of Crown Black because we're sponsored by Crown Black. If you're going to drink, please drink responsibly. Let's get these earbuds out of here. Don't need those. Try my buds. But I'm back. So, back to our story. Fatherhood. Where did we stop off at last time? We stopped off at me expressing that I will come back around month 7 and help and be more supportive at month 7. So I did keep the promise. I did. So when she became month 7, around month 7 and 8, when she got a whole lot bigger and things like that, I did. I went to her house 3 days a week, just like I said, and I helped out. I cooked, I cleaned, I straightened up the house, I cleaned up the house, I helped with the kids, helped put the kids in bed, helped with bedtime. I helped with everything I said I was going to do. Now, I absolutely understood that it was not my responsibility to do that, and I absolutely didn't have to do that. But because I wanted to be a better person and still show support in what was going on, I showed up and I did that anyway because I said I was going to do it, and I tried to make her pregnancy a little bit more comfortable. But what happened when I chose to show up and be nice? Because I'm quite sure people would appreciate if the father of their child were to show up, clean up their place, and help take care of the other kids when they sleep, even if it is 3 nights a week. Definitely when you're not together. So what did I deal with? I dealt with hormones the whole time. I'll tell you one night specifically that can give you an example of what I dealt with for these next 3 months until she had the baby. I was in the kitchen cooking for her and her other 2 children. Now, these other 2 children are not my children. She's just pregnant with Ariel at this point in time. So, as I'm cooking and preparing and doing everything, just got the kids, getting the kids settled down, and I'm cooking and everything, she's literally sitting in the kitchen screaming and yelling, telling me how I'm gonna be this horrible father, and I don't do this, and I don't do that, and I don't do this, and I'm talking just like whatever she wanted to say, however she wanted to say, she just said whatever she wanted to say. So all this was pretty much a lot. At least if I was there 3 days a week, at least 2 of the 3 days she was like this. I ain't gonna say every single time she was the worst person in the world or had the worst. Sometimes it was nice. She was cool, and I think the good times is what helped me stick to keeping my word when everything was working against me not to and just do whatever I wanted to do. So, but I stuck with it. So, this leads up in. So, I went through that. This takes us all the way up to born day. September 16th, 2019 at this point. All right. So the night before she was born. All right. Wait. Let's backtrack. I told you we gonna talk about this. We gonna talk. Let's talk about before she was born. So weeks upon weeks before she was born, she made it very, very difficult for me. Meaning that she used to threaten a lot about her not allowing me to be there when my daughter was born, and not even telling me when she was going in, or she just threatened that a lot. Like, she didn't want me there. She used to say those things a lot. But the night of when it was time to go in, I was the one that picked her up from the house, dropped the kids off to her mom, and took her to the hospital so we can get ready for Ariel to come. So it was no drama during that time. I didn't want the drama. I wasn't trying to cause no drama. And she was like going through the whole pregnancy stuff. She flared up a few times, but I kind of just let it blow over my shoulders. So what I remember about that night was before she was born, because she was born early in the morning. So before she was born, I was sitting in the car, and I did this story.
Oh yeah. So it's 4:36 in the morning. I think it's like the last few hours before I'm officially a dad. Hey boy, shit get real. Get real. Oh, you know what to say, for real. I am excited. I'm excited. I'm nervous, a little afraid. It's like, it's so crazy. It's like, yo, she ain't even here yet. And it's like, I'm already feeling like she about to move out on me. Like, yo, she's growing up too fast, son. Like, she growing up that's crazy. She ain't even here. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. I don't know. I gotta get back in here though, because she hit me up.
So, as y'all can see, that was the night that I was actually just in the car, chilling, just expressing my thoughts before my daughter was born. You feel me? And that was like my own little moment. So, funny moments. Let's talk about funny moments. It was, like I said, yes, you're going to hear some things about. I'm telling you the full story, because I'm not going to sit here and lie and say everything was horrible all the time. Yes, it was tough a lot of the time, but it was some fun moments, and it was because sometimes you do got to choose peace. It's kind of like neutral ground. We in this labor room, and we was jamming, so it was about time for her to push. So me being the character I am, I'm playing all music they got pushing. So I'm Rick Ross, push it to the limit. I'm pushing it. I'm doing like anything they got pushed, like I am playing it. And the funny part is the doctor is the one that's bugging up. Like she is like, oh my God, like she is pretty much annoyed. But she was kind of laughing a little bit. But the doctor is like, did they say I'm pushing it? So it was, I think that was a dope moment. So to Ariel's birth, first time becoming a father, first time seeing my child, first time like looking at her when she came out, I noticed her eyes. It was her eyes. She had my eyes 100%. And it was crazy for me to look at this baby, and this baby had my eyes, and I'm like, yo, those my eyes. My eyes are in my head, but no, they're in this baby. It was a funny experience, but it was her eyes. Her eyes is what got me. Her eyes is the thing that, I don't know, I just I melted a little bit because it was so crazy. I was just holding her, and in that moment of holding her for the first time, like I seen like life flash, and like she was like moving out. I felt like she was just moving out already. And I thought that was interesting. That was like my first thought with her. And then like she was crying, and then as they was like wearing her and wiping everything off her and doing all of that, so it's kind of like I went over to her and I like held her hand, and she just stopped crying. And then it was just, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, I will do that.
It's okay. Look at all that hair you got.
Her head looks great.
Don't let go. She don't want to let go. It's okay.
She has a good grip already.
Already didn't want to let go.
My chest then versus now, I don't have anything. Compared.
Yeah, I was like, Rochester's completely gone.
You really be losing them anyway.
Aww.
Ain't that crazy? Most women get them even having children. They don't lose them.
Me and her, when she was first born, we had a lot of gazing moments where me and her both would just look into each other's eyes for like, shit, feel like forever. I don't know how long. We would just be sitting there just looking and gazing, and I swear I feel like she can see what I'm thinking or feel what I'm. It was an amazing experience for me to be a father for the first time and to see my kid and to be holding my kid and like watching my like it's my blood in this kid, and then it's like it was cool seeing those little things what she did first. But the cool thing is like her second day she was like holding her own bottle. Like, I'm not joking. I got the video. She was literally holding her own bottle day 2 in this world, holding her head up, and she got a big little head, you feel me? She was holding her own head up. It was just so many things she was just doing. I'm like, dude, this baby's supposed to be doing this. It was interesting to watch her grow like that and to do that and to be doing those things. So, before we get out of here, let's talk about after we leave the hospital. After we leave the hospital, at this point, I stuck to my word. I told y'all, I'm gonna be all the way honest. I'm not just gonna tell y'all I'm gonna tell y'all everything. I forgot a couple points. So before, to make it a little easy on her so she can be more comfortable, before she had Ariel, I did make a deal with her that for the first 3 months after Ariel was born, I would pay half of all her major bills. So her car note, her rent, anything that was like over $300, I paid half of it for 3 months until she got back on her feet and got back comfortable where she needed to be at. So I made that deal, and after Ariel was born, I stuck to that deal. All right. So speaking on that, so just imagine Ariel was born in September, so that's October, November, December. So all that time I was paying half the bills, still stepping in, helping where she needed help at. And even like when Ariel was first born, I would go to her house and chill. Like I would go sleep on the couch. And I'll be on the couch knocked out, and her and Ariel be in the bed. If Ariel get up or something, or she's trying to sleep or something, I would get up and I would go change Ariel. I would go help out. Ariel would fall asleep on my chest. Like me and Ariel be knocked out on the couch. I got videos with us just sitting on the couch, just chilling when she was first born. And then it got to the point where her mom made the space uncomfortable. So I stopped going over, chilling. And at this point, I was just like, yeah, I will bring her to me. You feel me? She can come to my house. I'll take care of her. And it was just a lot of stress going on at the time. And she was having like stressful moments with like breastfeeding and things like that. So it was like I was doing my due diligence to keep the peace. But it was like, for some reason, it was just like she seen the worst in me, or felt like I was doing the most, or felt like I was doing the worst. I was always blamed for something. It was crazy. Super crazy. Like it just became like that. So that's why I had to leave the space and I had to go back to my space. You know, I'm still, a father. I'm still gonna be a dad, so I was still there for my daughter. I paid for everything. When I say everything, I paid for everything. I paid for Ariel's crib. I paid for everything that was at Ariel's house. I paid for everything. I said Ariel's house. I paid for everything that was at her mom's house. I paid for everything that was at my house. I decorated my daughter's room, made it all pretty and beautiful, and I'll show y'all some videos of that too. But I decorated her room, had like a room reveal. Everything was set up. I had a crib at her mom's house. I had everything. I took care of all that. Her mom didn't have to worry about nothing. When Ariel was born, even to this day, I take her all her Pampers, all her wipes, all the milk she was getting at the time, and everything. I was taking care of all of Ariel's expenses, including Ariel was on my insurance for my job since she's been born. She's always been on my insurance or whatnot. So I was taking care of all of these things when it comes to my daughter. I don't care. She needed Pampers, she needed wipes. I dropped out cases. I'm talking about I used to buy cases. I used an Ariel room. It was cases on cases on cases, and she never fell short. Milk cases. Like one thing I did was make sure she was well taken care of. She needed clothes. All that I took care of all of those things. So let's get to the next big event. Ariel's first Christmas. Remember, Ariel was born in September, so let's get to her first Christmas. So one thing that y'all might not know about me, Christmas is a very big deal for me. It's very important. It's my favorite holiday besides my birthday. You feel me? Birthday, a real nigga holiday. But Christmas, I love Christmas. And it's nothing to do with religion. It's everything to do with just how I feel, where I come from, the things I've experienced. It ain't like, oh, I had a whole bunch of bazillion amazing Christmases. It's not like that. I like the energy of Christmas. I like how people feel. I like the happiness. I like that kids are happy. I like that people are happy. I like that people are out shopping. I just like the energy around it. It's like the most positive time of the year, and that's why I like Christmas. So with this being Ariel's first Christmas, I was ecstatic. I'm talking about I was ecstatic. I was excited. No, I did not go out and blow thousands on thousands of dollars on stuff that she did. I didn't believe in that to this day. Even for her second Christmas coming, well, she gonna get a whole lot more this time. You feel me? But she was just born. She was only 3 months. She really didn't need a whole bunch of things. So no, I did not go out and do that. I just got some more necessities. But let's talk about Christmas. A couple days before Christmas, her other 2 children had got sick. And they couldn't figure out what was going on with them. Like, why they were sick. But they both was hospitalized. They both had got sick. And she was at the hospital with them. So I used to take Ariel. I had kept Ariel while she was with her other children. I was watching Ariel, and then I would take Ariel up to the hospital so she could spend time with her. And then after she spent time with her, I'll bring Ariel back home with me. All right. Remember, Ariel's still only 3 months, and it is winter, so it ain't like she can be out a lot or should be out a lot. But at the end of the day, this situation was happening. So she had got angry with me a couple of days before Christmas. And I had taken Ariel to her Christmas Eve. I think it was Christmas Eve. I took Ariel to her I think it was Christmas Eve, yeah. I took Ariel to her Christmas Eve. And once again, she was at the hospital with her other kids still during that time frame. So I called her. I was supposed to pick Ariel back up that night. I took her to Ariel there earlier Christmas Eve day, and I was supposed to pick her up that night so we can wake up on Christmas together. So I called her later that day to pick up Ariel. She never answered her phone. Not once. I sent text messages, never responded to the text messages, asked if she was still at the hospital. I wanted to come get Ariel. So you know what? I'm like, you know what? Let's not make a big deal out of this. Let's just let her have her. She can wake up with her for Christmas. I'll call her tomorrow, and then I'll just pick Ariel up in the evening. All right? No big deal. It is what it is. Christmas Day come, Ariel's first Christmas. I'm ecstatic, you feel me? I don't even care that I ain't get to wake up with her. I'm like, man, I'm gonna give my baby, tell my baby on Christmas, you feel me? Call her mom. Nothing. Text her mom. Nothing. I'm talking completely MIA. Her mama not answering the phone. Her cousin not answering the phone. She ain't answering the phone. She ain't answering her Facebook. She ain't answering nothing. So Ariel's first Christmas, I missed it. The whole Christmas. Pretty much the whole Christmas Eve, because I dropped her off to her mom at like 9 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve so she can spend Christmas Eve with her. And then I was supposed to pick her up that night so I can open up Christmas Day with her. All right, that was good because her other 2 children were sick. So at this point, I didn't want to go to the hospital and cause a scene. That's just not what I do. So I took the L. What else do you do in that situation? Like, you have to choose what type of person you're going to be, and you have to choose to be that person no matter what happens. So if I'm choosing, I'm going to be respectful. If I'm choosing, I'm going to be this person that I'm saying I'm going to be, there's going to be moments where she's going to make decisions, and it's going to suck on my end, but I can't overreact because it's not going to always be like that. And that brings us to today, but we're not caught up to today in the story yet. So, we're going to stop this tonight. And next week, we'll continue the story. So what's juicy about next week's story? Why should we come back to watch next week's story, you say? Oh. I might miss my daughter on Christmas Day. And, oddly, crazily, the day after, too. She didn't call me until December 27th. That's when she finally called me. And she called me to tell me that I can have my daughter for New Year's because she want to go have